How's it going? Hiding behind the aquaponics this afternoon, but there's a reason. I'm harvesting the turmeric that's in this spice bed down the back here. I'll probably take the ginger out at the same time. Now this little spice bed behind the aquaponics has been invaded once again by mango roots. It is a wicking bed, but somehow the roots have got in here, so I'm pretty much all just going to strip this bed out over the next week or so. I'm taking the turmeric out, I'm taking the ginger out, and I'll be taking the galangal out. So these plants here will all be processed and harvested, and we'll use these guys to freeze up, make little pastes and all bits and pieces that we can use in our cooking, so we can store them in the house. I have another spice barrel over the back behind the chicken coop that I'm just going to leave alone pretty much. It's got ginger in it, galangal and turmeric, and I'm going to see if I might pull the rhizomes and split them and spread them out a bit, but it's pretty much all. Other than that, I'm taking none of the rhizome out for food whatsoever. This stuff here has got to last us for the year. So anyway, I'll stop prattling on and I'll get to it, and yeah, we'll see how much we get out from this little bed. So all the stems are off, just clear this away. Now there was probably about 10 centimeters or 4 inches of timber mulch. This was from the rotten mango tree next door put on top of this, and as you can see, it's broken down really, actually I'll put it in shot, it's broken down really well. There's not 4 inches of it here anymore. So, but what we are getting, I'll just dig through and grab some. You can see all the roots, or little bits of roots, there's some more here, from the mango tree. So we've had this problem before, and I'm pretty much all convinced that the mangoes come in here and taken over the bed. So not too happy about that, but you know, these things happen. So all this mulch, I'm just going to pull to one side and tease these chickens. Hey chickens! Whoops! And I actually just broke off a little bit that was sticking through the ground. It's a bit of a disappointment. So rightio, now I'm going to do is get the garden fork in under that and lever it out. We'll just pop him down in there, as deep as we can go. See what we come up with. There we go. So, just break away this dirt slowly. Oh, I can smell it already. It smells awesome. I love the smell of turmeric. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to just leave the rest of this soil on here because I want to hit it with the hose and see if I can get these root sections all out in one hit. So we'll see how we go with that. And broken another little bit off here. This one here, whoops, is already coming out in sections, so I might just fossick around for this one. Looks like a bit of old root. So we might need the fork after all. The smell is beautiful. A few nice little sections there, and this one here. So these guys will just get a bit of a hose off, and I'll show you what the final yield is. But before I go up, I'm also going to pull out the ginger as well, and we'll see how much ginger we've got. So that's just over here. Some of this ginger's actually grown above the ground here, so I probably could have harvested a little bit earlier, but you get that. Anyway, I'll get the fork in here and we'll loosen up the ground here as well. Like I said, I'm not expecting a great deal from the harvest from these guys in this bed this year. I can actually feel large, here we go, I'll show you, large mango roots. So a lot of the nutrient would have been stolen by those guys. And this little ginger, that's all he is pretty much well done. So he's actually, I'll just go and put him into a pot and see if we can use him as a head start for next year's crop. These ones over here. You think, chookies? Chooks are giving their 2 cents worth. And that's Bianca on the phone. There you go, chookies, have another worm. So there's a couple of nice pieces of ginger. Over here we have another stand of ginger. And this year, after putting on a whole heap of horse manure and worm castings as a mulch, he's just absolutely thrived. So I think I might pull him out as well, and we'll give the garlic that is down behind him a bit more sunlight, so they'll hopefully do a bit better as well. So they're not very deeply rooted, so I'll see if I can pull this one out all in one hit. Now this is just from one little piece that actually came in with the soil that we used to fill up this bed, and yeah, he's featured in other clips, and we've just pretty much will just let him go. So I'll pull him out and see what we got. So there we go. There is one nice lot of ginger. Oops, it's coming apart. So I'll go upstairs and give him a bit of a wash, and we'll see what we end up with. Let's put all this mulch back in place. Off we go. This clump here grew all from this little piece here, so that's a massive return. I'd say that's close to a kilo's worth of turmeric there for one little rhizome. I've started to break some of the bits off, but that's alright. So these older bits, including these bits here, will all end up going into the dehydrator, and yeah, most impressed. This bit here, same thing, the older bits will go into the dehydrator, and this fresh stuff will be processed and put into the fridge in a vodka preserve, or we'll just put it straight into the freezer. We go through a fair bit of this come curry season, which it pretty much all is now being winter, so most impressed with those harvests. This is the ginger we pulled from the bed with the turmeric. Not a great deal in there, and there's some of these manky bits that look like this one's actually started to rot out, so we'll probably discard him totally. And some of these older bits I'd say are last year's ginger. We're going to try and dehydrate these guys and see how we go, and see if we can make up some of our own ginger powder. This little fella, as I said down the back, I'm actually going to plant him into a pot in a minute, and we'll see if we can get a head start on next year's ginger. So these guys here are pretty much all the younger ginger. You can see it's a little bit pink, a little bit green. There's some down the bottom there. Now the clump down the back was a lot more impressive, I must say. So there you go. And some more and more. So this lot here is rather impressive. It's a lot better than what was growing in the spice bed. That bed down the back there, I think all the difference was made by adding all that extra horse manure and worm castings. It's just moved these guys right along this year. So I think I pretty much will know what I'm going to do next year. Some of these smaller bits here, like this here, I might just break off and replant them, and they've got a bit of greenery on them. I'll put them in a nice warm spot in the garden, and hopefully they'll just pull through the winter nicely and give us a head start. They've got some nice finer roots on them, so we'll see how we go. But overall, I'm mighty impressed with this clump from down the back. So that's pretty much all it for a look at the small spice harvest. The turmeric, really pleased with that. I was a bit concerned that it wouldn't do so well with all the mango roots in the bed, and as you saw, the ginger didn't do too well in there at all. But I think the majority of the roots are up the ginger end of the bed. The galangal right up the other end is just booming at the moment. That was a peewee. Yeah, so the ginger down the back, it really, yeah, it saved the day. I think that was started off as one little ginger plant, and over the last year or so it's just grown into a massive stand of ginger, so very pleased with that. The majority of the ginger will be going into food. Like I said, those small plants, any bits with some fine roots, I'm going to try and pot out and see if we can get a head start on next year's, and some of the turmeric will go straight into a pot as well, just to see if we can keep it nice and warm in the sun under the aquaponics there, and yeah, see if we can get a head start on next year's crop. So wasn't the most impressive harvest, I know, but that's what you get some years. If you want to check out an impressive ginger harvest, check out Muggsy Jeff's channel. He and his wife Wilma, they do clips on gardening, fishing, beekeeping, bread making, cooking with bee products, and he got the lowdown on how to grow ginger from a ginger grower, and he grows some awesome looking clumps of ginger, so it's well worth a look. Check it out up there. I'll put a link directly to this year's harvest clip. It was very impressive. So that's pretty much all it, I suppose. I've already harvested some yak on today, and I've got some asparagus to plant out in a new bed out the front, so I better get a move on before the sun fades on me. So any comments, questions, suggestions, just drop them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Other than that, I hope you all have a great one and take it easy. Catch ya. Now the chookie come to help us. Here, chook chook. Hello. Oh, they're all coming. Hey chickens. Anyway, we'll get to this.